How many years did you serve in the military?
I was active for almost 4, and then in the National Guard for another 3.
I was 19 years old when I joined. I had 1 year of college experience, and then I joined the Air Force to get, it's called the GI Bill, where they help you pay for college if you enlist.
And when I went to college, I found out about the Army Reserve, which allowed me to serve in the military and also go to college at the same
So originally, I had no intentions of joining the military. But when I got out of high school, I joined a little later than most. I was 22 years old when I joined. I wanted to go active duty at first, and I decided I wanted to stay home, but I wanted to be able to serve at the same time. So I saw the National Guard.
Started off in the Air Force, and I figured out that that was not for me. I did not enjoy it. I jumped over to the Army, and I really enjoyed the Army. That was more of my speed. I did the Army National Guard and the Army Reserves also.
I went into the Air Force right out of high school, and I did 4 years active duty. I went to Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Then I got out in 1992, and then in 2006, I joined I was an E4 which is a senior airman when I got out. And in 2006, I joined the West Virginia Army National Guard. And I served with the West Virginia Army National Guard until 2022.
Back then, it was a whole different time, and we were involved in a war that I wanted to see what that was all about.
I got into trouble with my family at home, and I got up one day and I walked off, went in the Army.
So I joined when I was 20 years old. I thought maybe I'd wait and go to college first. And when I went to college, I found out about the Army Reserve, which allowed me to serve in the military and also go to college at the same time.
We would do PT in the morning, so we'd exercise for about an hour. Usually for us, it was close to a 4-mile run, and then we would go back and shower and change into our regular uniforms, and then we would go where we kept our cannons, and we would make sure they were okay.
We'd have to show up early. We kept all of our guns and weapons in the armory, so we would have to show up early and pick up our weapons for the day. And then we had this thing called guard mount, where they would come and inspect you and make sure your hair was cut the right way, it wasn't too long, make sure your boots were polished and your clothes were all ironed. We had to really look nice because we were going to be out in front of people. So we had to have guard mount, and then we'd work 12-hour shifts. So we'd work from 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 3 o'clock in the morning, or whatever time we started. And then you'd have to go turn your weapon back in and head back to the barrack.
So it's kind of like school. You know, you have somebody that tells you what to do, and you show up on time, dressed appropriately, and once you get into a routine, it's usually work. You have time for downtime activities with watching movies or going to the gym or eating.
Well, sometimes the food was good and sometimes the food wasn't.
Sometimes, yeah, it was good. Sometimes it was cold. Because they had to, when you work, you're in the field, and then they bring it out in a container. Well, it's getting cold.
Food was not the best. They gave us these packs of food. They were called MREs, meals ready to eat, and they were in a brown plastic bag. And you ripped it open, and they would have little bags of it's kind of like soup stuff and spaghetti and meatballs, or they'd have crackers and jelly. And the weird thing they had, it was dehydrated fruit.
Sometimes when I was deployed to Afghanistan, there was times that we were actually sleeping under vehicles, just nothing but a sleeping bag, because we didn't have tents or anything set up yet. So I slept in a lot of different and unusual places.
It wasn't bad. I mean, we did have beds. I mean, and now sometimes we had to sleep on cots. So I've actually got a picture of me sleeping on the roof of a building on a cot. I've got pictures of me in that same cot on the side of a street.
Every day you had to get out of there, and then your mattress was one that you could roll up, and you stuck it at the head of the bed. And when you got off duty and come in, you had to lay it out, make it. That's where you slept.
Yes. The first time I deployed, it was a lot harder because the internet wasn't as good as it is now. So, and nobody had cell phones. So we had to wait in line and use a phone card to call home. And even then, you'd only get a few minutes. Recently, I could call Jimmy on the internet, and talk to him and do a video chat and stuff like that. So, most recently, that's what we did.
Not everyone had a phone like they do today, so we did have opportunities to phone home, but it was very different. They'd have to use shortwave radios, and there were volunteers that would pick up the shortwave and transmit it. So whenever you were talking on the phone, after you were done, you would have to say over so that the other person knew that was the end of the conversation and they could speak then. It was almost like talking on a radio while you were in Vietnam, like that.
Able to go travel and go to places all throughout Europe and different places like that. Got to go to Dracula's castle and see where he was, and got to go tour all of Germany where my grandfather fought during World War II. So
I would say when we were in Puerto Rico, when I was in the Air Force. We went to Puerto Rico for 3 months, and we'd go out when we weren't working. We could go snorkeling and go out on the beach and swimming and stuff like that. So that was fun.
I also was able to go to Egypt and see the pyramids, which was just breathtaking. It was really fantastic to see and imagine how someone built those so many years ago.
Basically, you have to learn how to live and get along with a whole bunch of people that you might not necessarily know very well. You don't necessarily have to like everybody that you live with either. And you have to learn how to get along with everybody and live together.
The big thing is discipline and patience.
I think I learned a lot of discipline and how I should act and how I should behave, and I walk about, how I carry myself, and how I act. So definitely that.
I learned that you should respect other people. And there were a lot of people that I was involved with that were from all parts of the country that all had different views of what I had. And you need to understand those people and understand that their view is important to them too.
So it has a lot of benefits. And I always tell everybody, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's bad moments and good moments, but it's like that on any job. So what would I tell people? I would say it is 100% worth it to do it. There are times when it is tough, but it makes people, there's a lot of things that you do in the military that are going to make you have to draw the best out of yourself.
Sure. Thank you for your service
Oh,
for
I
our
appreciate it.
country.
Thank you for your support that day.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.